It looks like Kantai's doing basically the same. They kind of given up on C a little bit, and you guys are going to kind of find out with, especially with that torp bomber if he keeps rolling in. So that Tesla chicken is going to be able to scare off those planes a little bit. But it looks like Kantai is going to kind of push for A, B, and then kind of fight it out at C. C from the north side, from your guys' side, is a bit stronger. It's a blind corner coming from the south side, so they're looking for. Looks like they're rolling the masses kind of towards the B area. We got two battleships kind of converging on B, so an advantage for you guys, because if you guys notice this and spot this, then the potential of capping C and then D and then fighting out at B will give Kantai a big advantage to keep rolling this game. And it looks like Rhino will be uncontested at A cap while Destroyer Minakaze or by Pink Assassin pushes off Carry Hiyu.
Yeah, right now they are taking C-Cap. Kantai is definitely pushing it, and they're going to control that. They haven't got to B, and they decided to just abandon A completely, and they've sort of moved away from it. So they are going to try and get to the center of this map, maybe try and control at least two of these points, try and take B and C, make it really hard for TSF to control 2 points and make them control A and D. That would be really, really difficult for them. But right now, Destroyer Taylor smoking in, trying to deal with this Benson here on the cap, and there's another one, Silly Putty here as well. Yeah.
Achilles taking a really big hit from Cruiser Euro right there, almost taking a half his health. That's the scariness. That's the fear of any destroyer in this what's called kind of torpedo alley right here on this side. And more shots are coming in, but Cruiser Euro putting a full salvo almost on the side of Achilles, taking him down about 6k life. Silly Putty actually beaches and has to kind of emergency smoke on this, but Achilles also holding down B and hoping to not get torpedoed because he's sitting relatively broadside. If torpedoes are coming in, Achilles could definitely take one, and that would be death for him. And here they come, although they are spotted, so Achilles might have to bail. Actually, he thinks it'll be okay. But we'll see if he gets potentially stings it into somebody with a destroyer, because they're throwing a whole bunch into that smoke.
Is Cruiser Euro spotted on your side?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Okay, yeah, he's just trying to hide up behind that island, I think, and just prevent as much damage as possible. But there is a nice pile of smoke there. Carry here in the Benson's trying to get away from it, but Destroyer Taylor's trying to get away from it. Carry here is trying to get in there. See Cruiser Newport trying to get in, trying to get some protection. The two other battleships, Cruiser Otago and Destroyer Minakaze, are just trying to deal with something and trying to get in here. I'm sorry, I said the wrong name there. Cruiser Otago and Cruiser Quincy are trying to get in. Too many names that are just not the right ship name.
Too many similar names. Looks like Kantai is going to be trying to cap D cap, so the caps are going to be balanced out without Kantai really losing too many points to it. Down go those planes. It looks like they didn't quite make it out. But Nurman, probably the lowest on Kantai besides the destroyers, trying to kind of post up behind this island, maybe put in some good cross shots. And kind of a little bit of a stalemate right now. We're not seeing too much. Rhino's hanging out over at A cap, kind of trying to spot out what he can. Nurman trying to look for good shot. Looks like stuff might be kind of covered by islands and potentially couldn't have shot on a Cruiser Euro with only the front guns. But Nurman just trying to kind of sit here, kind of wait until a good shot, a good opportunity comes in. And I'm surprised we're not seeing a bit more torpedoes going into B cap. So, but with the destroyer off on D cap, and we'll see if we get a good flank. Silly Putty gonna have to be running some defense and getting some good vision over here on the flank with Uzukaka just doing what he does best, and that's just hiding behind islands and just lobbing HE shells all game.
Yeah, definitely. They want to put pressure onto B at this point. They've moved a lot of ships in to try and deal with it, and they have thrown some torpedoes down that alleyway to try and just scare off anything. But already Achilles has moved out of there, trying to get away from that, knowing that he can't hang out there for much longer, especially with Cruiser Quincy coming in with North Carolina and Cruiser Newport just trying to put pressure on all this. But they are trying to retake A as well, so try and get that cap advantage. They are down by 20 or 10, 20 points, so that's going to be a problem if they don't deal with that soon. But capping a third point is definitely going to deal with all that problem.
So interesting development over on C-Cap right now. Silly Putty, Cruiser Sukaku is kind of just hanging out there, holding down C-Cap with his tail end kind of forced towards facing the rest of the TSF. But torps are going in, and that might actually push Cruiser out of the cap, meaning that Silly Putty can actually go in and actually cap it out. So none of those actually hit. And there's actually really good torpedoes, but looks like actually A cap is dropped. For Kantai as well, so 3 caps to 1. Silly Putty is going to try to push up and maybe take C. He's got the support from Tesla, but Tesla's got to be careful because he could also take a really good blind shot, a solid AP salvo from Cruiser Zikaku, who they have no idea where he is now.
And right now, you look at the health pools, and in general, Kantai is not taking much damage. Both North Carolinas, or two of the North Carolinas, taking a little bit of damage. One of the Kutuzovs have taken some damage, and of course, the Loyang has taken a good chunk of damage. But besides that, you look at the other team here, and you look over at TSF, and D-Bob's taken a lot bigger of a chunk. Same thing with Nermont. Not fatal or anything, and same thing with Achilles. So they are trading hit points much better on Kantai right now. And overall, TSF is a little bit behind, and definitely D-Bob taking a huge hit, now down to 16k. I mean, he's going to have some serious problems unless he gets smoked up. You can see Achilles coming in here, trying to smoke him out, trying to help him out, but he's still quite a little bit of ways, at least a couple kilometers.
Now Achilles, a shot in on Achilles, so very good job from Quincy, although they do miss. But D-Bob must have gone dark. If he doesn't shoot after so long, he can then go stealth, assuming he runs a pseudo-stealth build. Apparently he is still spotted, but shots are in, misses those. D-Bob's trying to repair as much as he can. Just under 23,000, looks like he'll probably get about 25. Decape trying to take as much damage, but they're focusing the low ship. And you said, I think it was last game, that either TSF or somebody was they weren't kind of finishing off the low ship. They were kind of going off, trying to get everybody kind of low before they finished them all off. So
yeah, it was TSF.
So we'll kind of see Achilles just trying to keep pumping out damage. Decape's moving up, and Rhino potentially going to try to go take back A cap, and they need to get some, because they're down about 100 points now, and there's nothing they can really do. I mean, Cruiser Euro is going to be able to lock down A cap, so Rhino's only going to be able to do too much, so they got to keep up some pressure, maybe to take Cruiser Euro to maybe make him move a little bit. But Rhino's going to be pushing in. He's not sure if maybe a destroyer capped that or if it was just Cruiser Euro, but we'll kind of find out pretty quick. Rhino's not going to be able to do too much because destroyer Minakaze is completely locking it down with planes, and here it is, the Cyclone incoming. This is where the game begins, and let's have some fun, some close range action, and best of luck to these teams. Let's see how these guys deal with the lack of vision.
Yeah, this is definitely going to make this game a lot more close quarters, and these destroyers are going to have a lot easier time of trying to get in there. So if they can just keep these destroyers alive, they can do a lot more damage right now. It's going to be really hard for carriers to really try and spot these destroyers. Right now, of course, Rhino right now is easily spotted, but as soon as this storm rolls in, he's not going to be very easy to find. In general, it's Kantai has the advantage here because they have to roll into them, but really right now, as soon as everything goes dark, TSF actually has a chance here to try and just retool and come totally different directions, because there will be no more spotting of either of these teams. So I don't know, if this game keeps going, it's going to be any man's game at this point.
I think we're about to see a throwdown here on B cap Q. I think both teams are just going to end up pushing. There's going to be a lack of vision, and one team's going to be on there, and I think there's going to be a lot of torpedo damage, there's going to be a lot of AP damage, and it's going to be who can bounce more shells and who can survive the longest. And a couple shots in on Achilles. Achilles taking down. This is not what they need for a ship to go down, especially a destroyer to go down right before the Cyclone hits, before he can even get away. Looks like some of those torpedoes might have hit, and taking some good damage for the battleship. And Cruiser Taco now the main focus. Achilles down about 2,500 life. Decape and Snoop Duck, who are almost full life, putting shots in on Tago. Tago down about 40k life, and looks like he's on fire, down about 35k life. Wow, big hits for those guys. And Nermon getting ready to push up. This is the move that I think TSF is going to make, and they're going to see what happens. If I'm these guys, I roll with either an island on one side or island on the other to kind of protect you from getting both surrounded. So Kirihio in the middle, and now they see nobody. They see nobody now. This is where it goes dark. And best of luck to these guys, because it's going to be close quarter combat. Rhino going to be getting into a tussle over here. Let's switch over to him really quick and get over to him as fast as possible. Rhino down to about 13k. He lost vision on, I'm not even sure who it is. Cruiser Euro now putting on shots. Rhino didn't want to know that he was still there. Rhino takes down Destroyer Taylor, so good exchange right there for TSF. Euro could potentially put a really big hit on these guys. And not only did Rhino takes a big hit right there, but down to about 58k life, but he's still alive, puts in torps in the general area. And Euro could potentially, all these things with one, got unlucky with no fire, but there's a smoke for TSF, so TSF's going to be able to kind of rebalance the cap points out. And let's go back to the fight on B, because that's where it's going to go down.
Yeah, definitely. It's really powerful that he just took back A and took out that destroyer, being now 3-2. But that being said, TSF, Silly Putty, and Achilles are not in fighting shape. They're both really low health, so they cannot just go walk up to, say, Submarine or even Karahiru and actually duel with them because they just don't have the hit points at this point. So, but as you said, they are moving in. The battle is happening over B. People are really taking some damage. You can see Snoop Duck starting to take some hits. He's on fire. Nermon's being spotted finally, but Quincy, man, he's really taking some hits.
Silly
trying
Putty
to deal
taking
with
out
all this.
Submarine Wahoo, so another destroyer down
Wow.
for Kantai. This is going about as good as possible for TSF, but they need to keep going. They take out Cruiser Quincy, take out Cruiser Newport, but these guys have to be careful, especially somebody like Nermon, who's very far pushed up, and Cruiser Newport could put a huge salvo right into the side. Down goes Tesla Chicken, so they're down their one cruiser. We'll see if that one kind of comes back to bite them, but Silly Putty also gets, man, what's going down over at C over there? A big exchange. So Kantai loses a Kutuzov, so does TSF. TSF could potentially lose Nermond right now. Nermon barely alive with 8,000 taking those torps, and these guys got to find out what's going on, because if they lose Nermon, if they lose Snoop Duck, if they lose Achilles, what is swinging ships?
Yeah, I mean, wow, this is their moment to really equalize this whole battle, and Quincy's getting really low. They've got said a couple other ships that really are in kill range, but right now they've got to probably just focus down at least Quincy, try and get him down. Nermond is still holding on just barely at 10k hit points, trying to repair up, but his repair is done, so he's living with 10k for a while at least. Also, again, retaking back A.
Ooh,
Also,
nice
really
torpedoes on Achilles for Carrier right there. Or from Achilles on Carrier. Down goes Carrier. And if you notice at the minimap, D's about to start get capped. I'm waiting for a complete deletion of Deck Ape right here. Cruiser Newport has a perfect broadside on Deck Ape. One salvo could put 2, 3, 4 Citadels into him and completely take a full life battleship off Deck Ape in not a very good spot. Potentially just out of range.
Here they come.
There's the shot right there. Let's see if he gets punished. Wow, actually gets... He got gifted that. That could have easily been a potential one-shot for those guys. Cruiser Quincy down to about 1,000 life. Nermont putting in shots. Deck Ape putting in shots. Secondaries are going off. And Deck Ape, will he get the kill? Secondaries, and Achilles takes the kill. Now, where do they go next? They got to be careful, because if they go one way, they're showing a broadside to one. If they're going the other, they're showing a broadside to the other. So you guys have to be really careful on how they continue on with this.
They're gonna fall back, I think. I think that's the best move here, right? Because they're ahead in terms of points. They're at 844. They can just hold on. Oh,
down
that
goes
hurts a
Nermont.
lot.
But look at that, though. They have one ship that's pretty full. I mean, Deck Ape is about the same life as Cruiser Newport. Snoop Duck is about the same life as Cruiser Otago. They have the ship advantage. They have the caps. And like you said, they're slowly backing off. They're trying to fight it out. And if you watch, the destroyer from D is now coming from the side. What else we have over on the left side from ACAP? We're going to start getting a divergence in from ships, and the rest of the Kantai is going to be completely surrounded. Big shot in from Cruiser Newport. What a snipe right there. So Deck Ape could potentially go down, but how does Kantai come back from being down this many caps this late in the game without having destroyers?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is now they're down just 3 destroyers to nil. Like, that's absolutely brutal. And you can see they've capped all the points back. There is not much that Kantai can do at this point other than try and retake B, get some kills, and then maybe not lose. I mean, that's really their game plan right now, is trying to just hold on to this game. Because really, unless they, try and equalize that score, which they did an awesome job taking out Achilles right there. Ooh, but torpedoes coming in on Newport. He takes at least 2 of those. Ooh, man, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Now that that battle between him and Deck Ape is not nearly so even, and he's going to have to really deal with, trying to get Deck Ape off this point or kill him, and they really need to do both, and that's really just a tall order at this point.
Now, Deck Ape right now has a really big advantage of potentially just holding off this. He has the health pool. He's got twice the life. Shot is in. What a shot from D-Bod. Wow. Catches him in that little opening right there between right in between A and B cap, and just finishes him probably with a double Citadel. 930 points. Deck Ape locked down, almost full life, 4 caps for TSF. Fairly good showing for TSF this match. They held on. They had a good exchange on B cap. Looks like you were so focused on the big boys fighting it out on B cap. What a snipe from Deck Ape. Wow. Wow.
Amazing shots from him. Just wow, some seriously great shots from him. I mean, we're going to game 5, guys.